Hey, this is Javen,
This is Johnny from Son of John.
and we're an alternative country duo from British Columbia.
Our new song, Jesus and Johnny Cash, is available now.
You're listening to On the Porch with Front Porch Music.
I have to ask, who's that cardboard cutout of that is just off the screen there?
Oh, that's Drake.
Why?
I don't know. It's been there since I was younger. My brother got it.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Hey, there's some good clickbait for this. Drake joins the episode.
Oh my god. Okay. Welcome back to another episode of Season 4 of On the Porch with Front Porch Music.
Season 4, baby. Yeah, so this is Season 4. We're back today with another episode with a newcomer. His name's Lucas Mason.
You may have heard of him. You may have seen the viral moments on the internet of him singing with Zach Bryan.
Yeah, no big deal.
No, not at all. We just had a chat. We talked about like where he grew up and playing music, and basically, good thing he has a brother who's randomly connected because his brother helped him put together a band and found a cool place to record his debut EP, which is called Almost 18.
Speaking of almost 18,
Not relatable.
The common theme that I'm finding lately is that we're getting old.
Don't put me in that box.
Okay, I'm getting old.
We had a good chat with Lucas. He got to do a lot of firsts very quickly, and was pretty honest about being overwhelmed and feeling angsty. New word he learned.
But
And then wrote
relatable to
about?
every teenager, anyone who's ever been a teenager.
Totally. So thanks for joining us for our chat with Lucas Mason.
Yeah, and we also have this new feature that we started where we're going through the catalog of the artists that we talked to, but we don't have a name for it yet. But if anyone has an idea, send us a
Hit us
DM or let us know in the Spotify comments. But anyway, here's our chat with Lucas Mason.
Welcome to the Porch, Lucas Mason. You had quite a night last night with your first headline show ever, which congrats.
Thank you.
We'll get to that. But this is your first podcast recording. We're chatting about this, and so like I said, this is not the time to be shy. We'd love to get to know you a little bit, help the Canadian audience get to know you a little bit. So why don't you start by just telling us who the heck you are, where you're from, and how you ended up where you are today with an
Cool.
EP and your first headline show in the books.
Yeah. Well, my name's Lucas Mason. I'm an 18-year-old singer-songwriter from Ontario in the Niagara region. My whole musical career kind of started not too long ago. I had always been playing guitar and piano and that sort of thing ever since I was younger, because my mom's a music teacher, and she really inspired our whole family to be musical. Like, my brother plays in my band as well, and I'll get into that other stuff later. But I started just playing little small gigs about a year and a half ago. Was the first time I ever played a gig in my life, and it was at like the Hard Rock Cafe in downtown Niagara Falls. Just playing like covers of country, rock, that sort of thing that they like there. And I was just doing that for a bit. I never even written a song until I went to a Zach Bryan concert in March, and that's when things sort of changed for me. I was pretty confident that I was going to be able to get and play on stage with him. I saw a video of some kid get on stage, but he didn't sing. It was like the first one, and he just played the guitar. But I'm like, if this kid can get up there, I can probably get up there too.
The confidence.
Yeah, I like the audacity.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to sound like, I don't know.
You definitely manifested it, that's
You did.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just told myself it was going to happen, and I would be
made it
really
happen.
upset if it didn't.
Yeah.
I would have been upset. So I made a sign, and it was just like, this was my third Zach Bryan concert I'd ever been to. I first saw him in 2022 at Darien Lake, and I made a sign that was like, I saw you in Darien Lake 2022. I saw you at Budweiser Gardens 2023. can I play Heading South with you at Scotiabank Arena 2024? And it was like this huge sign. And pretty much as soon as I got to the front of the line, the security guard took my sign away. He said it's too big. They're like, you can only have signs 12 inches by 12 inches. I'm like, that's like this big.
What's the point?
Who's gonna see that?
Yeah, I'm like, he's not going to see that. So I'm like, all right, I might be done now. Then I realized somebody I was with had a Sharpie with them, and I was wearing a white shirt. So I kind of put two and two together, took off my shirt, and then I just, I got one of my friends I was with to write on the shirt, can I play Heading South with you, really big on the shirt. And it was bigger than the sign. Oh, it was almost as big as the sign, and the security didn't seem to care about that because I was right at the front of the pit. And so I held that sign up, and before I started waving it around, I got the crowd around me to help me out. I was just talking to everybody. I got in at like 6 o'clock, and he didn't start till like 9. So I'm like, yeah, and it was freezing outside, and I was wearing a t-shirt. It was terrible. But as soon as I got inside, I just started networking with every single person around me, all these random people. And I'm just like, hey, I'm trying to get on stage. Let's make it happen. I won't let you guys down. All this stuff. I talked to probably like 60 or 70 people just all around me. And then if you see a video from like far away of when he threw me on stage, there's all these people like flashing their flashlights at me and stuff. And it's just like, everyone else like can notice that there's something going around here.
There's a fight.
Yeah.
Somebody passed out.
I probably thought it was something like that. But Zach noticed, luckily, and he has like a 4 corner stage. He walks around. He doesn't like just stay in one spot. I was so lucky. He started walking towards the one that I was right in front of, the mic that I was right in front of, right when he started playing Heading South.
Oh.
Shit.
So he started the song, and
Is everybody yelling
stopped
in
the
that
song
spot?
like halfway.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, like well, not like halfway, but he was right about to start singing, and he started playing it, and he's like, oh yeah, the guys who came up the night before weren't very good, so I'm just gonna play this one by myself tonight.
So when he said that, were you like, damn it?
I'm done.
Yeah, I was. But then
How about another song?
when I saw him walk over to me, I'm like, oh, there might be a chance. And then as soon as he stops playing, I'm like, okay, I know I'm getting up. Because then he goes, dude, do you actually know it? And I'm like, yep, I know it. And then
Yeah, because wasn't it like the night before the guy that he pulled up butchered it?
oh
Didn't
yeah,
know the words, sounded like shit. There was 2 of them that went up, I think, right?
yeah. There was
Awful.
2 guys, and then one guy had like his phone out reading the lyrics. And stuff. Zach actually replayed the song that night by
Yeah.
himself because theirs was so like
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he goes, if this guy sucks, we're gonna kick him off stage. All right, everybody. So that's what he said when I went up.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
No, not at all. Eh? But yeah. So then that was kind of like the kickstart to my brand, because he gave me his guitar after, and that's the guitar I've just been writing songs on. It's a Gibson J45, brand new with the case, and I'm like, that's the nicest guitar I've ever played in my life.
Wow.
And yeah, and he just gives those out.
So when he chose you to come up on stage and you started to walk upstage, was did adrenaline totally take over, or were you like so nervous?
Yeah, oh, no, it was all adrenaline. I didn't even like
Did you blab in?
comprehend that it happened until like 2 days later.
Mm.
Like, yeah, it was just like the whole thing happened, and I was just like on such like a high. I couldn't fall asleep that night. I didn't sleep the entire night, and I woke up with like a million messages on my phone, and like my TikTok, I had 1,000 followers, and the next morning I had 100,000 followers. So
Insane.
it was like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah.
And you're like, I don't even have a song yet.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So then the next thing that started happening was a lot of like more important people started reaching out to me, not just like random followers saying like, good job. Not that those people aren't important, but you know, record labels and such, and managers and sort of like that, and the biggest record labels, and I'm like, oh my god, this is it. But
Everyone trying to get a buck.
Yeah.
and they're just like, hey, can we listen to your great job? You have great confidence. Send us your originals. And I'm like, oh God, I don't have any. So from that day on, I started writing, and I've just been writing a lot. The summer is when I wrote most of my songs, most of the ones that I like a lot. Right now, I have about like, I've written like loads of songs, but like I have like maybe like a little bit less than 10 songs that I really like that I wrote. And a couple of those were on the EP that I released. And yeah, so the next couple months were pretty crazy. And I didn't know who I wanted to be as an artist too. That's the thing, because people are like, "Oh, who are you inspired by?" And it's like, obviously Zach. And then I have Tyler as well, Tyler Childers, and some other people. But I didn't know what kind of music I wanted to make. So, and the other thing too is Zach Bryan is like, when he writes his songs, he writes them about like his mother passing away and his sister was a drug addict and all this like crazy stuff, and he went to the military and all this crazy bad stuff that happened in his life. And I'm like,
I don't want that stuff to happen.
My family has a stable income. Both of my parents are still together. Everything's okay. I'm in high school, so I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to write about? So when I first picked up the guitar to start writing, I used to like try to make up stories. And I feel like some people do that, but the music I like, people write real things most of the time or about other people's real stories. And I used to just make up stuff, and then I never really was that proud of any of the songs I wrote. And then I started writing music that like meant more to me, and it meant more to me because it was about real stuff. And I realized that's what the other guys did and other girls did that I listened to. And as soon as I did that, it was like the amount of detail I could put in just like went from like here to here. Like when you're making up a story, you have to like, you can't just like, you can't know everything. When you write your own story, when you write about something that you've lived through or somebody else has lived through and they've given you the absolute most details, that's when you can write the best song. That's what I've figured out, at least. And that's when I started figuring out what kind of music I wanted to put out and the brand that I wanted to have. So I built a band. My brother was already in a band, like a punk rock band kind of. And we got him on electric guitar. He's very good, and I've jammed with him many times. And we got his drummer from that band, and his drummer is like phenomenal. This guy's like, he's like this little skinny kid. He's 18. We're all pretty young, and you should go if you go on my website on lucasmasonmusic.com. And you look, there's a thing where I show one of his drum solos, and it's fantastic. But I'm really lucky to have him in the band. And then we got my brother, one of his best friends, on the bass. And then we just got a fiddle player, and I actually don't even know where he came from. I'm like, I need a fiddle player. My brother goes, oh yeah, I think I know somebody. I have no idea where he came from. He is hilarious though. And I'm glad he's in the band. He's really good at fiddle too, which
helps.
You know,
that does help. Yeah. Yeah. So then our first gig we ever played as a band, I never played with a band. Our first gig was at the Niagara Wine Festival. It was like before the Grape and Wine. It was in the summer. It was like a pre-Grape Wine party, but there was like 1,500 people there. And we were just playing mostly covers. We had like one original maybe, and
that's a massive show for your first show.
Yeah. You play for 15 people.
Yeah. So I mean, my biggest crowd even before going on stage with Zach Bryan was maybe at the Hard Rock Cafe, maybe like 50 people max, and it was by myself. Right, playing with the band was really fun, and it's just like every time I play with the band, I get this huge like adrenaline rush, and it's just like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. That's what I think. And whenever I like get down about, oh, this doesn't get many views, this hasn't got many streams, any about that stuff, as soon as I play a live show and all these people come up to me after and say really kind things, I just get like so like happy inside. I don't know how to say it, but I love playing live music. That's like my favorite thing to do.
Well, that's how you know you're meant to do it.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's a real fun thing. And yeah, we went and we played a bunch of shows in the summer. We got invited to some cool stuff. We played at the Tiger Cats game, which was really fun. That one was awesome. And the crowd was rowdy, and it was awesome. That one was great. And I played at the Horseshoe Tavern, which was really cool because I'm watching the documentary right now about the Tragically Hip. It's been released on Netflix or something. And it's cool. I'm seeing like the video of them playing there, and
some huge bands have played there. I looked this up just yesterday because I was watching this video. Keith Urban was in town this week, and somebody got pulled up on stage to sing with him, and the video went viral. But the comments are so funny. It's like one of the Toronto's favorite dive bars, the Horseshoe Tavern, is like the caption, and then the comments are like, "How dare you call that a dive bar? How dare, like, do you know who's played here?" Like, it's so crazy. It's so funny. It's actually an institution.
It is pretty divey though.
Hey, now.
Yeah,
in like a good way.
I can't believe Keith Urban played there too. Like it's so like small.
I know.
It is legendary. It's cool. That one was really fun, and that one was just like, I don't know. That one felt like a milestone to me because it was like so many important people have played there, and it just felt so crazy that I was on the same stage as Gord Downie and the Rolling Stones and people like that. And it was just very cool to me.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it was fun, and I was opening for this fellow named Dom Lewis, and he's like a folk singer, and he was very kind too, and he was the one who invited me out there, and he's a really nice guy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I actually I didn't get to watch his set because I got kicked out.
Because you're 18.
Because I'm 18. So yeah, I get in there, and the guy's like, "Yeah, you gotta wait on the street until 10 minutes before your set.
Yep.
And then you play your set, and you gotta leave right away." So while the first band was playing, I had to sit in, like, it wasn't that cold. It was in October, but it was still like not nice out. I was just sitting outside on a bench, waiting to go in. Me and like two other guys in the band. Two of the guys are of age, 3 of us aren't, and we're just like sitting, waiting to get in. We hear the other band. We hear everybody in there. I'm like, this sucks, man. Let's give them a show, and then. So we went in, we played, and it was really fun. Other than the first song, the sound guy forgot to turn the bass on. So that kind of sucked. But other than that,
what an institution.
It was really fun. Yeah. And then we just had to leave right away. But I wish I could have.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean.
When do you turn 19?
Next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just turned 18.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's not like 3 or 4 months away.
No.
I
wish. A year to go. That's okay. This is the humbling experience you get now, for now. And
yeah, I mean, it's a cool story, though. I got kicked out of my own gig.
Yeah, and you're going to get kicked out of your own gig for the next, 365 days.
And not because I was unruly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that one was really fun. And then towards the end of August, we played at the Warehouses, which is where I had the fundraiser last night, which I'll get into that in a sec. And we opened for 2 other bands there. So it was the first gig I ever played like all originals pretty much with the band, and that one was really fun. And I love when like people hear my originals and then they say like nice things about it, because that just like it's like I wrote that. That means so much to me. It's different than just like playing covers and sounding great. Because they're personal to me. So that one was really fun, and that one like really made me want to write more a lot. So getting the EP recorded was interesting too. We took sort of like some of the songs, and we literally made everything up the day of, pretty much. Like, if you listen to Angsty, and we were sorry, I'm trying to go on a timeline here.
It's okay.
It's all good.
The recording was in October,
Mhm.
is when we recorded them, and I was trying to get them out in November, and obviously like that doesn't really work. Recording in October, getting them in November, it doesn't really work like that. But yeah, so I kind of just said, hey, these are the songs I want to do. We played them at the warehouse. Let's just try and record them and see what happens. And every solo on every song was improvised. We had no idea. Like at the end of Angsty, if you listen to that one, there's like a 1 minute long solo of just like all the instruments just going and there's no voice. And all of that was improvised. We had no idea how many bars it was going to be, like how long it was going to be. We just ended it when it felt right. And it was, and I think that's like my favorite part about it though. Cause it's just like, I want it to be like very raw and just like very like, just like a jam. That's what I want it to be like at the end.
And it's angsty. You don't conform to any time limit.
No. And we didn't, none of the songs were recorded to a click or anything either. It was all just, we recorded the drums and the bass live off the floor, and then we just kind of doubled everything else on top of it. But that one, it was really fun, and it was in this studio that was in a barn, and the barn was like built in 1862, and it's still standing. And this guy, it's called Silver Street Studios, and this guy lives in the barn in the upstairs. It's like an attic kind of, and he lives in there. And if you look, there's wooden beams like hanging, and you can see like these like chips on the beams, like every maybe like 12 inches there's a chip, and that's from the axe that the guys used in like 1862 to build the thing. They're still there. He's like, yeah, everything in here hasn't changed except for like that one wall. And I'm like, that is sick. And the acoustics in there were sick. And yeah. And when we recorded Burnout, like the first song, this guy lit a joint into the mic, and that's what the start of it was. It was supposed to be a cigarette because the song's about one of my buddies, and he smokes a lot of darts, right?
To put it lightly.
But my buddy couldn't make it. I was actually gonna get him to light up a dart in there, and the guy goes, I don't really like the smell of cigarettes, so is it okay if I just light a joint into here instead? I'm like, I mean, sure, it's gonna sound the same. I don't care. So the guy who was recording for us lit a joint right into the mic, and I have a video of it. It's hilarious. And
I thought you were like, I don't want fire in here. This is a historical building. This is gonna burn down.
Oh yeah, it was great.
How did you find this place and this fella?
I don't know. Again, my brother knew.
Okay, got it.
So my brother just knows all these mysterious people that sort of come into my life, like the fiddle player Malcolm. Like I have no idea how he even knows my brother because
no questions asked.
He's born in 2007, right? Which is the same age as me.
Oh God.
and
you're old.
My brother is born in 2004, so I'm like, how does this guy know this guy?
Jesus Christ.
Well, this has been a great episode. Thanks
Goodbye.
for coming.
The young people are no longer the age of my youngest brothers, so it does not feel. I don't feel relatable anymore. Not at all. Not at all. Anyways,
we're aged.
You.
Anyway, as you were, your brother knows this guy randomly.
Yeah, but anyways, he was cool, and it wasn't very expensive either, so we just got that. And on Burnout, the bass player, my bass player Carter, he was using this bass that it was from like 1960 or 1955 or something, and it was like so old and like rusty, but it had like new like nice strings on it, and it sounded phenomenal. And that's what we used to record the bass on Burnout, and I think it's so sick. And he was playing that, and it was like he's like, oh yeah, this is my grandfather's or something. So
there's a lot of things about this little EP that are like really unique and cool. You should have like a little about almost 18 situation. I'm just thinking right now too, like all these important folks reached out to you at some point. Imagine you had songs ready and your like first experience in a recording studio was something like insane. One, you'd have no humility by now. You'd already be a dick. And you wouldn't get to have this like cool, like this is your first EP. You got to like figure it out with your buddies and your brother, like just some fun little experience. It wouldn't have been like that. It would have been polished and like just wouldn't have been as cool.
The other thing I like about my band too is it's like not just a bunch of like professional musicians who are just playing for me part-time. It's like they're like all my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't friends with them before, obviously, other than my brother obviously, but like now I am, and they're all like super nice people. So that was it's fun playing with them. And
what's this timeline like from the Zach Bryan show to getting in the studio to releasing? Like when did what was the timeline?
Zach Bryan was in March. It was March 18th. So it's almost been a year. Jeez, it's almost been a year now. It does not feel like a year. Anyway, so that was March 18th. And then we got in the studio the day after the Horseshoe Tavern. The morning after we started recording. And that was like October 22nd or something like that.
So like 6-7 months.
Yeah. So, and all those songs were just written, and the band just, I wrote the songs, and the band just kind of just figured out something to play. And we kind of got like a rock thing going on in some of them, and some of them sound a little folky, and some of them sound a little bit country. I don't want to put myself into one genre or not. You could consider it country as a whole, but like, again, like you listen to Zach Bryan, and some of his stuff is like not country, but he's a country artist. Like that's what we call him, right? But I just, I want to just be like a songwriter, and write my own songs and kind of figure out which genre I am. But I'm mainly country, and just getting in there. But the EP was really fun, and then the release was January 3rd. So it was a couple months. We tried one person mixing and mastering it, and I didn't like the way it sounded. So then sent it to somebody else to mix and master it, and I liked it. I actually had to redub the vocals because I didn't like the mic that we used in the studio. It was like a really old, nice mic, but it was like a different like vibe. Like this guy normally records like weird music. I don't know how to say it. But like he plays in a band too, and it's like experimental. Is that a genre?
Can
I
be.
don't know. Yeah, it's like experimental rock. It's really weird. But anyway, I mean, I don't want to say it's weird, but it's cool.
Not for you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the vocals were recorded kind of that way, and like that's not why we wanted it. So I went and recorded the vocals like in December, like December 8th or something like that. I re-recorded the vocals, but we kept all the instruments. They sounded nice in there. And the room was massive, and it had like room mics like on the roof and stuff like that. So we recorded the vocals there, got it mixed and mastered, and I like the way they turned out now. And I was worried it wasn't gonna. I had a strict deadline, right? I turned 18 on the 5th.
I was like, what?
Friday before the 18th, before the 5th was the 3rd, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get going, right? Because I can't release a song called Almost 18 if I'm 18.
Yeah, you could have lied.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but I was like, I at least need to get that song out, and then we ended up getting the whole thing out. But we actually recorded we recorded 6 songs in the studio, and we only released 4. We cut 2 of them.
So you have 2 in the barrel.
Yeah, I'm not gonna release them though.
Never mind.
They were like 2 of those songs that like I wrote when I first started writing, when I would make up stuff, and I'm not proud of them. I don't know why I recorded them. People liked them, that's why I recorded them. But now that I've written more, people like the new ones better. So
that makes sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and we're getting back in the studio soon. I think on the 31st. What day is today? The 19th. Yeah. So we're recording a cover of a song, probably.
Ooh.
And we're going to release that as a single.
Nice.
I love how it's like 10 days till you go into the studio and you're saying, we're probably recording that.
And we might record another. We're not a very planned band, and I mean, but
That's okay. That's okay. Okay, so almost 18 is basically like you figuring it out, and like before this whole Zach Bryan experience and just like jumping into music, it's still about like what's going on around you. So now that you're 18, how are these things changing, do you think? Or like as you're learning to write more and
as you're a week and a half into 18,
maturing, perhaps, like how are these things going to change a little bit, do you think?
Well, the thing is, I have to decide where I'm going after high school. That's gonna change, and I have no idea. I've applied to Guelph and Brock.
Yep.
For teaching English and teaching music,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm either gonna do that or do music full time, and I'm hoping I can do music full time. But I have to decide in the next 8 months, or not 8, next 6 months. I have to decide before June what I am gonna do for the rest of my life. Not exactly, but it seems like that. You know what I mean?
Is there a way
you can always defer for a year.
Yeah.
I was thinking, is there a world in which you balance both for the next 4 years of like?
That's the thing, right? So if I go to Guelph, because I know a lot of people who are at Guelph, if I go to Guelph, it's going to be hard to do music because that's like, it's an hour away from my house. If I go to Brock, that's 10 minutes away from my house. So it'd be very easy to do music still if I was going to Brock. It would be a bit harder at Guelph, but I could play at the Guelph bars and sort of things like that.
Yeah.
But to get my whole band up there, who all live in Niagara, would be harder, for sure.
It might just not be as convenient.
Yeah. So.
That's fair. You have a little bit of time to think about it and figure out how you want to do it. I remember the first day we met you.
Where was that?
It was
the
at
CMAOs.
Yeah, and we're just sitting there up in the back row quietly. We're sitting with, I think Riley was sitting to my left, and he got up, but before he left, he goes, "That's the kid who sang with Zach Bryan in March and didn't fuck it up." And I was like, "Oh, no way." And then I was like, "Hey, he sold you out." And I think, pretty sure that's how I was like, "Who are you? What the hell? What's this? What's this all about?" And we just like walked around that night meeting people. It was very cute.
Yeah, no, that was very kind of you guys too, because
What should I wear to the award show?
I had like
yeah.
who I should talk to and
No.
who I should step up to, so you guys helped me
It was
out.
funny.
And you rolled in with the cool kids who had to sit at the back, so you're like, what am I supposed to be doing back here?
Well, we sat in the back because like we were like trying to like hide and not like we weren't feeling super social.
Yeah.
And then
You leave for 2 seconds.
our buddies came in.
Yeah.
And they sat beside us, and then we're like, oh, let's bring this Lucas guy around. Introduce him around.
That was very funny.
Go talk to that person. Go talk to that person.
Yeah.
So you've been to your first CMAOs probably with no preparation, not knowing how. Well, I know it was with zero preparation. You had no clue what was going on.
No.
Went to your first CCMAs. You
Yeah,
played
that
your
was
first music festival. You recorded your first EP. What are some things that you know now that you wish you knew?
What a big
In
12
June.
months. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh. I wish I started writing earlier. That's definitely one.
Yeah. Hindsight's 20/20 on that kind of stuff, though.
Yeah. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff. Saving my voice for like gigs.
Not screaming it in bars.
Not screaming.
Yeah.
That's like when you're in a bar and there's like loads of like drunk people all in front of you, like dancing. You want to like give all of your energy, but I realize you have to give all your energy in your body, but not in your throat. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Okay, that sounds weird. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, like you have to like show a performance like that, but not like like that with your throat when you're singing, because that's what I used to always do. And I'm taking vocal lessons now with a couple different vocal teachers, and they're helping me a lot with that. And people have actually came up to me and said, "Hey, like even in like the last like 4 months, like your voice has changed so much, and it's like whatever you're doing, keep doing it." That's what a lot of people have told me.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's the vocal lessons help a lot. I wish I started taking vocal lessons earlier too. That would have definitely helped me.
So wait, your mom's music teacher. What does she teach?
It's like elementary school music.
Okay, so does she like play a bunch of instruments and stuff too?
I think so. Like the main thing she does is like choir sort of stuff.
Okay.
Because like the school has like a choir, and then she has like a ukulele that she like sings with the kids. I think.
Why isn't she in the band? She's playing the ukulele.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah.
Make it fit.
The actually, you know what's crazy is she bought a guitar, like a little like mini like travel size guitar, maybe when I was like 12 or something. And I used to play electric guitar and only play like rock and like metal and stuff like that. And when she bought that guitar, she's like, "I'm gonna learn how to play guitar, and then I can play it at school." And she never learned. So
she bought a mini guitar. Turns out it was a ukulele.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, ukulele's easier." But anyways, then I started playing that guitar a little bit and singing. But like I was like too embarrassed to sing when I first started singing. I was in grade 8 when I first started singing. So I would just like whenever I got home from school, nobody would be home usually for like 30 or 40 minutes. So I would just play guitar and sing until someone got home, and then I wouldn't.
And then you hide it.
Yeah, I would hide it because I thought like, I don't know.
That's the way I was too. Like I play piano and guitar, but I don't play in front of anybody.
Yeah. No, it's crazy the difference. That was when I was in like grade 8, and then the first time I ever like sang in front of people was actually at my grade 8 graduation. But my grade 8 graduation was during COVID, so it was online. So it was like this. It was like a Zoom thing, right? And I was like, it was like a pre-recorded video of me and this girl. This girl in my class was a very good singer, and we were doing like a duet, and we were like standing on like my front porch and playing. I was playing like the little guitar that my mom had. And it was like the first time I ever, and I was wearing a suit and she was wearing her dress. And
Cute.
Like
That's adorable. Adorable.
Yeah, so,
unusual.
yeah. Well, I mean, it would have been nice if it was at like a real graduation.
Fair.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, high school sucks. So, how's grade 11 versus grade 12? Because you were probably like the music kid who I think you play sports too, right?
Yeah.
And now you're like the kid who sang with Zach Bryan and has a EP out. Like, are you cooler now, or do they still?
Well,
are you lame or what? What's the deal? How's high school these days?
No.
Are you lame or what? Can that be the title of the episode?
Are you lame or what?
The day after, so I was actually in Florida with my family, and then the day I got back from Florida, like the next day I got back from Florida was the day I went to the Zach Bryan concert and did that.
Fresh tan, nice.
Yeah, so it was right after March break. So it was, I went to school that morning, right?
And then went to the concert.
I left school early.
Okay.
So I remember my bio teacher, he was like a 25-year-old guy. And I was in grade 12 bio when I was in grade 11. And I used to always like joke
so you're
with this
also
guy.
smart.
Yeah, cool. We get it. We get it. You have it all.
And I'm talking to this guy. And I'm like, yo, he was at the Zach Bryan concert the night before, actually. And I'm like, yo, I'm getting on stage tonight. He's like, all right, man, do it. He's like, I believe in you. I think you could do it. You could probably do it. And he was like, and I'm like, okay. And meanwhile, my dad was like, oh, don't be upset if you don't, though. Because he was like, he knew I could, but he was like doubting it, that it was actually going to happen.
Trying to manage expectations and...
Yeah. He wasn't saying don't try to do it, though. But anyways... I got what was I even saying? What were we talking about?
Being lame in high school.
Right. So the next day after the Zach Bryan concert, meanwhile, I didn't go to bed till like 4 a.m.
You went to school the next day?
Yeah.
Oy.
But not
We
in the morning.
established this. He's smart.
Right.
I skipped the first 2 periods because I had to sleep in a little bit because I was up till like 4 a.m. Then I got dropped off at school. And everyone in the halls was just like kind of just like saying things to me, just like good job and stuff. There was probably about 10 people from my school who were actually at the concert.
Nice.
There's about like 5 of my friends and then like 5 other people there too. So that was pretty cool. After like 3 months, it kind of just got like, or no, not even 3 months. After like a little bit, people just like got used to it. And now like everybody knows like at my school, but like people are just used to it now. So it's just like they don't like treat me differently. And it's just like school's pretty normal for me now. Except every once in a while, like if there's like an assembly, I'll play like a song or something.
Canada.
Yeah, well, sort of things like that.
Yeah. School. That's cool.
But yeah, I don't know. School's all right. I mean, grade 11 was like, I feel like I tried a lot harder. Well, okay. I'm not saying I don't try anymore, but my classes are very easy this year because I also took grade 12 English in grade 11.
Still with these flexes, jeez.
So I was just trying to make my grade 12 year easy because I just wanted to have fun in my grade 12 year. So that's why I took those all early. I'm like, I'm gonna work hard in grade 11, so in grade 12 I can enjoy it. And right now, like I have like no hard classes. I have one hard class out of all my classes in grade 12, which is advanced functions because
barf.
Yeah.
PTSD.
Yeah, and that's next semester. But listen to this semester. I have right now spare data management. Data management's super easy, and then I have gym and then guitar. I have 100 in guitar, like actually.
They can't just give you like a credit because I put it I put it on EP. There's my credit. Thank you.
Yeah. Literally.
Do you learn things in guitar?
So you basically have 3 spares.
No.
Yeah, pretty much. And then next semester I have spare again first period, and then I have an online credit, which is like it's like an online class. They give you like one assignment per week, so I don't have to go to school till after lunch till like 11:30. I go for advanced functions and then art religion. So one hard class.
The whole year.
You know what?
Good for you.
Go for it.
Yeah. And it's like I can still get into. I got into all the programs I already applied for, so it's like it's not like I'm like taking
Oh, good.
Meanwhile, I had to go back for a victory lap to get better marks. I had too much fun in high school.
Oh boy. Wow, this is really cool. Is there anything we didn't ask you that you're dying to tell people about you?
What a question.
Well, I mean, I guess I can talk about last night.
Right.
So, because that was really fun. That was like the most fun I've ever had at a gig. That was awesome. So I had this idea, like around the same time I started recording the EP, maybe like in November or something, that I wanted to run a fundraiser because the reason why was I saw the Rec Laws did a fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what it was called.
Yeehaw.
I'm like,
it was called Yeehaw.
Yeah. So I saw that and I'm like, oh, that's a nice idea. So we started this thing. We called it Country for a Cure because we got 3 country artists and we were donating all the proceeds to Rankin, which is a thing in Niagara. It's like a construction company in Niagara, but like they donate all of this money to all these cancer initiatives. And they hold this thing called the Rankin Run. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
I have not.
Yeah. And it's like this run that they do. It's a 5K run, and there's like almost every single person in the Niagara region is there. Like not every single person, but like lots of people. And you donate and you go on this run for like cancer. Anyways, so we had this idea, and kind of my mom and my girlfriend kind of made the whole thing happen behind the scenes. They did most of the stuff. I helped, but obviously like the main thing I was doing was preparing with me and my band. We had Haley McNeil going first, and she is phenomenal. And I had never really, I mean, like she was at the North of Nowhere festival, and that's where I met her for the first time. And she won the emerging artist contest there. And I only heard like one of her songs, but I knew she had a good voice. And she played her set last night, and I was like blown away. Like one of the best voices I've ever heard. It was crazy because it was just her and the guitar. There was no band or anything like kind of like filling the room, and everyone was just like silent, just listening to her because her voice was just like amazing, right? Then she played for 30 minutes, and then we had Andy Colonico, who's another local artist who I've played not played alongside, but I played a gig where he was playing with me too, kind of. And he came with a kick drum, and he just brought the energy, kind of got the people to come a bit closer to the stage. And then when it was ready for us to go on, we found out like 5 minutes before that we had sold out, and we actually had to like turn away some people from the door.
No way.
Yeah, so it was about 200 people, but
That's great.
we raised over $4,000, over $4,000, and we're donating it all today, I guess.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Congrats.
so it went like perfect, and every song was perfect except for one, but not that many people noticed. In my set, we played "Devil Went Down to Georgia," which it's hard to play live, but our fiddle player, he's so good, and he's just he did a really good job on that one. But I messed up. I started singing like the last verse after like the second verse. Like 4 verses.
Oops.
Yeah, but whatever. And then at the end, the band we figured it out though. But anyways, the end of the show nice. That's all people remember.
Exactly.
We brought Andy and Haley back up, sing "Friends in Low Places." And then we pretended the show was over, and then we went and we sang one more. We sang "Revival," and everybody loves that. And then in "Revival," what we do is my band and I kind of just copy what Zach Bryan does. We sing the chorus, and then one of the band members does a solo, and then we sing the chorus, and then one of the band members does a solo, and everybody does solo. And my favorite one by far is the drum solo, because my drummer's like very talented. So we saved that one for the end. And he did great that night. And actually, the song before that was "Angsty," which is one of my originals. And when we were doing our 1 minute long solo at the end, he went like crazy. It was like even like better than the recording. Like, this is crazy.
Are you booking some shows for the summer? Do you have some plans? You don't have to tell us. You just have to say yes or no if you've got a big summer ahead.
Yes, I've been like reaching out, and there's
Nice.
also people been reaching out. So I'm hoping to have a very big summer.
Good.
That's good.
A cool gig that I have coming up really, really soon though is February 15th. I'm opening for James Barker Band.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one online.
Nice.
In St.
Yeah,
Catharines, right?
Yeah, it's in like Niagara Falls almost, like
Okay.
Niagara Lake, in between.
Yep.
And it's a venue that holds like 1,600 people. It's massive. It'll be the biggest stage that I've ever played on, other than Zach Bryan's, obviously.
I was like, no.
But it's like, dude, how do you put a band on here? You could fit like 50 people in a line standing.
Big stage.
So it's massive, and there's like a huge standing room, and then there's like an auditorium viewing room of like 300 more people up there. So I'm really excited for that one. And we also found out we're like the head openers, or whatever it's called.
Direct support.
Direct support. Yes. I didn't know that word, but yeah, so that's cool too. So
Nice.
a lot of people will be there when we play too. So.
That's good. I will say getting 200 people to your first headline show is
Huge.
very huge. So that's
Thank you.
really exciting for you. Obviously, maybe not, but you're releasing more music this year at some point? Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that like once every 4-month thing. Like, I want to try and get them out more consistently.
Good. Yeah.
Like Zach Bryan, this dude releases like a 35 song album once every like 6 months.
He also like releases albums that are like partially just voice notes. Like he records it on his phone and
I love that though. That's awesome. Like
Crazy.
that's like raw. That's awesome. Like, I would way rather. A lot of people say there's a who said this? Someone said this in like some movie or I was watching. Or no, it was you know what? I was at this songwriters series thing, where it was actually this beautiful thing I did a couple weeks ago, where we're like in the middle of the room and the room's like all like dimly lit and there's like maybe 100 people eating dinner around us. They're all dead silent, just listening to us. We talk about our song, then we play it, and it was a very beautiful environment in there. One of the guys who I was alongside with, he was from Tennessee, from Memphis, from like the same places like Johnny Cash and those kind of people, right? And he actually lives in the Florida Keys now. But I'm like, what are you doing up here? And it was so cold that night. And he's like, oh yeah, I know one of the guys. Anyways, what was I talking about? Sorry, I get lost sometimes.
The theater in the round.
Yes. What you heard. Music, recordings, rock.
Right. He said to me, I was telling him how like on Angsty and sort of things like that, we kind of just all made up the solos and we were just like jamming in pretty much, right? And like all of like the drum fills and like some of like the guitar riffs too, like we're just made up the day of. And he's like, that's music, man. I don't know how to do an accent. I'm not gonna try and do it. He's like, that's music, man. He's like, there's a huge difference between recording an album and making music. Yeah. He's like, you can record you can make a record. So between making a record and making music, he said, those are two completely different things. You made music, man. And he's like, yeah. You didn't get a bunch of random people to play exactly this note, this note, this note, this note. It's like, and not everything's perfect. Mm-hmm. But he's like, that's the cool part about it. And I mean, like, that's what I want it to sound like. I want it to sound like it's kind of live. And I don't want my music to sound like very like commercialized. I know I'm probably not gonna get on radio, but that's the kind of people that I listen to, right? So, and that's what they do too. And they don't get on radio, but.
So we have this newer feature that we're doing this year. We don't have a name for it yet, but we'll figure that part out eventually. But where we go through the artist's catalog and just kind of pick out a few songs and get, talk to the artist about that song and where they were in life when they wrote it. Obviously, you only have a few songs now.
So we're gonna do all of them.
Yeah.
starting with you. The first thing you put out was actually a cover of a Zach Bryan song.
Right.
Why'd you pick Jamie? Because it's not like that's a viral song. That's not something people are like. You telling me this was a cover of a Zach Bryan song was like, oh, I can go listen to that and find it. So, why?
Yeah. I wanted to do a song that wasn't popular because I don't know. I just thought that was cool, and I thought people might be like, not knowing if it's an original or a cover. And I also think that like there's a lot of his songs that aren't popular are like better than the popular ones. Mm-hmm. If you listen to like Elizabeth, like his first album, I think that is his best work he's ever done. Even compared to the new stuff, it's the best written, and those songs aren't popular other than like Revival.
Yeah.
So I picked that song, and me and Riley recorded it while we were at the CMAOs. And it went well. That was the first time I ever recorded a song, which was cool. Mm-hmm. Other than recording a demo in Tim Hicks's house one time.
Cool. I mean, he's basically a neighbor, I guess.
Yeah, he lives 15 minutes away from me. Uh-huh. And he knows my mom because he like did this like songwriting workshop with like the elementary school kids at my mom's
cute.
School. Yeah, so my mom reached out to him after the thing and we asked him for some advice. And while we were asking for advice, we like wrote a song together and recorded like a quick demo of it at his house. So that was pretty cool. He's a real nice guy. And yeah.
Neat. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go through the EP that you've just released. Let's start with Burnout, because that's track 1. What was that? Where'd that song come from? Like, what were you feeling when you were writing that one?
So, that one is about one of my buddies, who kind of like gets like very easily addicted to a lot of different things. not to the point where it's like as bad as it sounds in the songs. Like he doesn't like wake up and like drink a bottle of whiskey, but he
But he does.
Yeah. But like, you know, it's a school night. We get back from football practice, and we'll have a couple beers. And, like nobody else our age is doing that, and like smoking cigarettes. I said that earlier too.
Yeah.
Gambling is the new thing. I didn't put that in it, but some of the things he doesn't do anymore, and then he's like adopted
Except
new
new
ones.
things? Okay.
Right.
This guy's gotta watch out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, he's not like that bad of like he's not like a drug addict, but he's got to be careful, I think.
For sure.
And that's kind of, this song kind of reminded him that. Especially at the bridge, your whole life's gonna burn out if you quickly lose your youth. It's like you're trying to be a lot older than you are. I don't know if it's to try and look cooler or something, but I mean, some of it looks cool. Smoking cigarettes looks cool, but it causes cancer, so that's the only problem, right?
Period.
Like, if it didn't, I would probably smoke them, but...
You're
I
a
don't
singer,
want
you
to.
literally shouldn't smoke. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it gives you a cool voice, though.
That's the Riley Taylor influence.
Temporarily.
No.
Quitting. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I wrote that one about that, and it was... Yeah, okay, we can go to the next one.
Okay. Almost 18. As a now 18-year-old, especially. How's that
Yeah.
one? That one?
So, yeah, I wrote that one about my dad. And the first time I played it for him, actually, he cried, and I've never seen my dad cry in my life.
Aww.
And that's the only time I've ever seen him cry.
Did you cry back?
No.
He was singing.
Lame.
Yeah, so I wrote that just about kind of like the ways that he turned me into a man and helped me through my childhood, and how I'm kind of worried how I'm going to do it all without him now. I'm not moving out, but
Still on the family payroll.
you know what I mean, right? It's
Yeah.
I really like that song too, and I like the drums that my drummer played on it. He played some brushes on it. I like the way it sounds on that one.
Angsty. That one's fun. That one
Angsty's
sounds
fun.
Zach Bryan influenced.
Yeah. Angsty's really fun. That one is based off of the way that this music industry has kind of like punched me in the face since Zach Bryan.
You're getting line.
You know, a lot of like anxiety and stress just built up, and that's what the word angsty kind of means, right? Angst. And actually, I got that because I heard that word in a Zach Bryan song. He said something about angst. I forget what it was. It was in one of his older songs that's not very popular. And I'm like, that's a cool word. I wonder what that is.
What does that mean?
I searched it up, and I'm like, that is the way that I feel right now. I'm writing a song about that. So I called it
Teenage
angst.
angst.
And I wanted a more upbeat song because I didn't really have any upbeat songs. So that's why I wrote that one about that and just kind of like the crazy ways that I've been feeling. And then at the end of it, I'm like, we need to do something crazy here. So I also heard off Zach Bryan's new EP, new album, a song called Oak Island. I don't know if you guys know that one, but at the end of that song, he has like it's like 30 seconds maybe, but it's like a solo where the band just gets faster and faster and faster and faster until the band falls apart. And it's at the end of it, it just sounds like they fall apart, and you can hear like cymbals like falling on the ground. It's like that's what it sounds like, right?
Fun.
And I'm like, I'm doing that.
Did you just tell the drummer to flip his kit?
yeah, exactly, right? So we pretty much we just got the band to just like, I'm just like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna just play the same chords as the chorus, and we're just gonna get faster and faster and faster and faster until the end. And everybody, I'm like, you guys can just go as crazy as you want on your instruments, do the most amount of like soloing, riffing, anything you want to do, and it's gonna sound great. I mean, it sounds chaotic, and that's the whole point. That's what I want it to sound like, because that's kind of how my life feels, right? And I wanted the music to reflect that. My life felt so chaotic, and it hasn't slowed down, and it felt like it slowed down a lot. But I realized it hasn't slowed down. There's always something that's like, I have to do something with music every single day, or like it feels like something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that one and Almost 18 are my two favorite on that EP.
I think Almost 18 is my favorite too. Not that it's relatable for me, because that was a long time ago, but that's okay.
We can imagine.
You managed to make it work.
Yeah.
Okay. Lucas, thanks for giving us a little tidbit into your life. Congrats on your show. That's huge.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to see what else you do this year.
Yeah, we're as one of the Front Porch artists to watch for 2025. We're very excited to see what the rest of the year has.
No pressure.
Yeah,
Just
no
kidding.
pressure. Don't disappoint him.
Yeah. I gotta make 2025 my year. I'm hoping to get an album out, maybe.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it like, I mean, I'll put the songs that I've already released on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like maybe like 16 or 17 songs, or more. I don't know.
Or more.
We'll see. I got at least 4 songs right now that are planned that I'm definitely releasing.
Do you like Sam Barber? This is just a side comment.
Yeah, I do.
His newest album has 28 songs on it.
Yep.
That feels like a thing to beat. Because I don't care about Morgan Wallen's double album. That's a double album for a reason. 28 good songs in a row is crazy.
Yeah, that is.
Challenge accepted?
I don't know if I can write that.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know if I can write that.
That does sound expensive, actually. Yeah, you're right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Where can people find you on the internet?
LucasMasonMusic.com, Instagram, Lucas Mason Music. They're all just Lucas Mason Music. TikTok, or anywhere but the U.S. pretty much.
All right.
Maybe.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for listening to another episode of On the Porch with Front Porch Music. We're so lucky to be able to chat with artists and make episodes like this one. If you like the podcast, remember to rate and review us, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. It's the easiest way to support the show. Remember to check out frontporchmusic.ca to keep up with new music releases, exclusive artist interviews, and more. We'll catch you again on the porch in a couple of weeks. On the Porch is hosted by Logan Miller and Jenna Weiser, and produced and edited by Jason Saunders. That's me. Our theme song was written, produced, and performed by Owen Wrigley.